Hello, we're slap bang in the middle of the growing season now, and there's a lot going on here at Homegrown Veg. We're harvesting potatoes. We haven't quite got to the carrots yet. Celery and leeks will be the back end of the year, but things are starting to look good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop these pots up, let you have a look at them, tell you what's in them, and bring you right up to speed. This is the first pot I want to show you. One potato growing in a 10-inch pot in just seaweed and leaves. I suspect there might be some bloodfish and bone in there. I'd need to check my records. This potato is ready to be harvested, but as we just took some in yesterday, took some indoors yesterday, this will get another couple of days before we drop this pot. Okay, so that's potatoes growing in seaweed and leaves. This potato is growing in forest bark and wood chips. I think this potato is foremost. It's already flowered. Flowers have gone now. We're getting some yellowing of leaves on the bottom, so it's nearly ready to be harvested. I think the potato in the pot previous in seaweed and leaves was Winston, but this is foremost, and it won't be too long before we drop this pot. As you know, I've never grown in forest bark and wood chip before, so this will be as much a surprise to me as it will be to you when we drop this pot. But I must say, I can actually feel potatoes in this pot. I'm not too sure if you can actually see the potatoes trying to push their way out. So we are going to get a harvest, but what sort of harvest we get, we'll only know when we drop the pot. That's potatoes growing in forest bark and wood chip. This potato is a fridge potato. It's called Maris Pear. In fact, just looking at the ticket, there are actually 3 potatoes in there. There must have been small ones. And these are small seed potatoes that are kept back in the fridge. Now this ticket tells me that these 3 seed potatoes have only been in here a month. And look, you can see the flowers are forming. Just over 4 weeks and we've got flowers on these potatoes. These were the ones that were kept back in the fridge, the hope being that we can get a second crop from this pot, which has already delivered early potatoes in this compost. We reinvigorated the compost with bloodfish and bone and perhaps coffee grounds, put it back in, put the 3 seed potatoes in from the fridge, and look what we've got 4 or 5 weeks later. A lovely plant, flowers just starting. So we'll harvest this later on in the year. You never know, we might be able to make this thing run till Christmas. I doubt it, but we'll give it a go. Second crop of potatoes, same pot, same compost, same year. It's got to be worth a go, hasn't it? Okay, that's fridge potatoes. This is a potato called Sapo Mura. It's a main crop potato and it's far too big to be in this 10-inch pot. But I had some sets left over and I had no bags, no compost, no space at the time. But as soon as the pot became empty and I got some compost, I decided to sit one Sapo Mura seed potato in this pot and see what I got. And as you can see, Sapo Mura is flowering. This has got a few weeks growth left in it yet, obviously, maybe months of growth left in it yet, and then perhaps we'll get some nice sap or made of potatoes out of this small 10-inch pot. I'm rather hoping that they'll be seed potato size and I'll be able to keep them till next year and grow them on again. Okay, so that's sap or murder, one sap or murder in a 10-inch pot. This is my Celery Victoria. There are 4 heads of celery in this pot, and as yet I haven't put any protection around them. I haven't started to blanch them up, but that's what will be happening next to this celery. I've already got some pots of celery that perhaps further on than this. I've got the windbreaks around them and I have got them blanched up. I'll show you that now. I'll just move this to one side and I'll show you how we blanch the celery up. Okay, 4 heads of celery, 10-inch pot. You know what these are? Pop bottles stapled together, and this is just some black felt that I've slipped inside there, so it's quite dark inside there now, and that should help this celery blanch up. At least that's what I'm hoping, and that's how I do it. 4 heads of celery, 10-inch pot, windbreaks, inserts to make it dark in there. Hopefully those will blanch up. Get some nice celery. Okay. These are some leeks, 4 leeks. Pop bottle windbreaks, as you can see. Hopefully you can see the leeks through those. Can you see them underneath? I don't know. They're the leeks. Okay. Once they get all to this sort of size, I mean this one shot on further than the other 3. Once they get to this sort of size, we'll put the felt inserts inside there, and we'll darken those down. And what we're looking to try and do is blanch these guys up. Now I think I've already told you this. These leeks are only in this pot about 1 inch, 2 inches deep. That gives them the 8 or so inches below the root, below the base of the plant, for the roots to grow down, and that's the compost they'll have available to them. If I planted them any deeper than that, then the compost above the root ball wouldn't provide anything other than blanching. So I'm doing all the blanching of this leek, making the shank white. I'm doing all that above the level of the pot. And I'll tell you how I'm doing that when I bring the other pot into the picture. Okay, so as you can see, these leeks are a bit further on. 4 in a 10-inch pot, windbreak. These are the collars. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just see if I can't raise that collar up on this leek and just show you how much shank it's got now. I don't know if you're going to get this. Can you see that? I don't know whether you can. But there is about 6 or 7 inches of shank on that already. And it's starting to have a white appearance, so it's actually blanching up. So I'm hoping to get 9 inches, a foot of blanch on these leeks. A foot of white leek in a 10-inch pot. So what we're trying to do, we've done it before, try again this year. These are some of my carrots. These are the ones I use the grid pattern to sow quite thinly. These are Artemis, and these have been in 24. These have been in just about 3 months, so these aren't far off ready for harvesting. So these are my carrots. Okay, now I want to show you something now which I find quite amazing really. It is curly kale. Let me show you this. Okay, this is the last couple of pots I'm going to be showing you on this video, you'll be pleased to know. This is curly kale. It's curly kale I got given. One plant in this 10-inch pot. If you've seen a video that I posted 2 weeks ago, I think I called it something like Dog Savage Curly Kale, something like that. I didn't savage this one, but I had another one that looked just like this, that they savaged. They actually chewed off all the centre top growth. Take a look at this. I think you'll agree that that was pretty well chewed off, wasn't it? It looked to me as though that curly kale had it. But I decided just to put it to one side because I didn't need the pot or the compost, and just to see if it would do anything. I've never grown curly kale in pots before. I've never grown curly kale before. I didn't know if it could recover or if it was finished. So let me show you this. How good is that? How good is that? This was all that was left. That is new growth. This curly kale survived. In fact, it looks as though it's going to make out a decent plant, providing I can keep the dogs off it. That is. So I was really amazed when I saw this new growth. So anyway, that's a good note to finish on, isn't it? That's something that's cheered us all up. I'm sure it has. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.